Hi guys, my presentation is entitled A Virtual Revolution, Trends in the Expansion of Distance Education, published by the American Federation of Teachers. The reason I chose this article is essentially, as a prior military service member, I've over the years have many friends that pursued higher education degrees offered online. Now, since this initial interest reveals an upward trend in working professionals, central to this article's discussion is a thoughtful analysis of quality assurance on current distance education trends, practices, and customs, inclusive of organization of these programs as well as curriculum design. Additionally, points of discussion will include teacher involvement, specialist curriculum design, as well as a notion that is known as unbundling of specialists to provide diversity by professionals. It is also interesting to note that this article makes a side comment that distance education is sometimes viewed as an apocalyptic discussion, insofar as many institutions are following the DE trend for economic reasons, and that the academic community may very well be on the verge of some sort of great reckoning with their community in the end times of face-to-face teaching. Now, not only do I not think this is the case, but I also remain a proponent of a hybrid approach that will blend the virtues of these two approaches. Presentation overview. The purpose of this report by the AFA covers 5 key areas. The first deals with the expansion of distance education as a leading virtual revolution in American education. Secondly, as such, educators should reflect on the quality assurance of education received by students, as well as innovative strategies. Thirdly, distance education can be broken down to 2 essential models: corporate marketing models versus academic. Fourth, subcategories will cover major trends in distance education, as well as how those programs are organized by both the corporate marketing models and institutions in relation to audience, as far as student audience, as well as institution administrators and overall budget concerns. Lastly, the AFA has provided a list of good practices for distance education, and these serve as guiding principles for their vision of how distance education can develop in the future. Major trends in distance education. There are 4 key areas for upward trends developing patterns of conduct, as well as establishing rapport with institutions. The first, existing higher education institutions that have or are developing distance education programs. Of those are included eCornell, NYU, and the University of Maryland. Secondly, corporate university joint ventures are those companies that provide course management systems such as Blackboard, eCollege, and Sakai. Third, full virtual universities such as the very well-known University of Phoenix Online, Capella, as well as the University of Maryland, are among the forefront leaders. And fourth, consideration will be given to corporate university or training institutions such as Corporate University Exchange and Click to Learn, which are more prone to provide certificate, business, administrative, technical skills type certifications. Some of the primary concerns of distance education organization include education based primarily on the marketplace, student as consumer model. What this essentially means is that the student population are not necessarily targeted, but are focused upon, and there are issues with whether or not the actual curriculum is written in a lighter way than would provide more reflective or deeper, more rewarding class experience. Secondly, authentic teaching presentational design. An issue here in tandem with student as consumer model, we have bite-sized factoid point and click practices with presentations and interactive lesson plans versus some more reflective prompts that require reflective analysis, critical writing, and that sort of thing. Third, this new concept of unbundling the faculty role, which is essentially deals with the incorporation of more differing specialists developing curriculum, teaching courses, and evaluating student performances. This is there are both benefits as well as detractors or issues of concern. Specialists being involved in the curriculum provides a distinct amount of variety. However, as will be discussed, the corporate model and some institutions are supporting this trend of standardized coursework versus diversity of use, where instructors, professionals won't necessarily have the freedom and flexibility to write the courses that they want or to prompt students to be more reflective. Thereby the students can find their own voice. In addition to this, along economic lines, class size. Now, this was an area that I was very surprised about, but it does make sense. There are benefits for institutions, for teachers to pursue online education as opposed to face-to-face. It's economical for the institution, and in some cases, in order to profit, institutions are increasing the class size, and it seems to be common sense, or what's needed in this area, uncommon common sense by the actual administrators in agreement with the teachers, that keeping class sizes small is not only manageable for the instructors, but it's also beneficial for the students to share and exchange an interpersonal design strategy in a more manageable, rewarding model. So, and lastly, testing for outcomes and competencies. There should be a more holistic design approach as opposed to the standardized model of also assessments, where assessments are geared towards outcomes and literacy levels depending on the topic, whether it's language or mathematics or the sciences, and some of those will be addressed. So to support the subcategory trends of the major trends subcategories, we have category 1, which I've illustrated through table 1. It's essentially a sampling of colleges and universities that offer online distance education programs. Some of these institutions report turning to DE for new populations in diversity, which is always good. Others for profit sharing initiatives. Yet there has been an ebb and flow between higher tiered institutions to preserve the integrity of their curriculum that fall behind the DE bandwagon, but are employing hybrid certificates. Of these included are Cornell, NYU, and the University of Maryland, College Park. In these areas, as I started to discuss, these programs are for business type or administrative certification programs. So we have many type of warm-up MBAs, clerical certifications, some things that would be more prone to be found in vocational institutions, but they're just starting to reach out in terms of what they can do and how it's beneficial to the institution. However, the article discusses that these institutions, except for the University of Maryland, are still very much proponents of keeping their curriculum to face-to-face on campus. The reasons for this are both ethical as well as economical, I think, because of what they're offering. The tuition is distinctly substantial. Some of the other issues, as I discussed, include unbundling of educator roles, specialists as trainers, editors, and the like, um, and how that plays into those institution structures. These are institutions that really don't provide or approve of a whole lot of flexibility and individual freedom for both students and teachers in this sense. Category 2 covers corporate university joint ventures. Those institutions that provide course management systems as vendors and distributors. Of these include Blackboard, which is very well known, as well as eCollege and WebCT. Now, this is these types of software and hardware are promoted by go-between vendors in a communal sort of client share approach. It's probably one of the most higher profit yielding aspects, and it's also it benefits both the institutions as well as teachers. Now, there's a significant amount of discussion in the article as to how much input professionals have with those programs and what is approved of by the institution, how many options, how creative instructors can be. But the aspect of packaging and distributing courses and promoting other clients really can't be matched. It's probably one of the strongest aspects of future distance education. Category 3 covers corporate university joint ventures, hybrid course or content providers. The University of Phoenix is the #1 provider of full online higher education degrees. It was interesting to note that the statistics provided by the AFA demonstrate that such institutions are leading the way with high quality hybrid courses, and in tandem with that, the aspect of both University of Maryland as well as the University of Phoenix, they have a policy of their instructors are either part-time instructors teaching in their fields, of course, or they're actually tenured, fully tracked tenured instructors that also teach online courses. So they promote a high sense of standardization, which once again yields low academic freedom in a highly structured environment, and where student freedom of expression or finding their own outcomes through reflective analysis is somewhat compromised. In the final analysis, the AFA provided a list of some 14 most salient areas of good practice. Inclusive of these are standards based on a survey of 200 distant education practitioners in AFT higher education locales. The first of which is faculty must retain academic control. Secondly, faculty must be prepared to meet the special requirements of teaching at a distance. Thirdly, course design should be shaped to the potentials of the medium. Fourth, students must fully understand course requirements and be prepared to succeed. Further, close personal interaction must be maintained. Class size should be set through normal faculty channels. Experimentation with a broad variety of subjects should be encouraged. Equivalent research opportunities must be provided. Student assessments should be comparable. Equivalent advisement opportunities must be offered. Faculty should retain creative control over use and reuse of materials. Full undergraduate degree programs should include same time, same place coursework. And lastly, evaluation of distance coursework should be undertaken at all levels. Final conclusions. Considering how the pace of DE is accelerating, and it is not necessarily an apocalyptic, overdramatic reckoning where face-to-face on-campus exchange will disappear, it's important to consider the four models provided